So we could just take. Has anybody seen the actual movie Maniac? Like
No.
I think it was like 1978.
No.
Like scalp women kind of thing. Like it was crazy. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, not a fan of Maniac. Let me just get that off my chest right now. So we are at the Big Red Barn. It's just a quick stop because you guys have to imagine I normally see between 8 to 12 of you guys every night, and I have to explain your equipment.
Dan Marino.
What was that?
Dan Marino?
Did you hear Dan Marino? Like seriously? Who the hell's talking about Dan Marino? I don't even like football, and I know who the hell Dan Marino is.
Tamburino?
Oh, I thought you said Dan Marino.
Oh no, Tamburino.
Oh, Tamburino.
Oh, okay. Now you lost me. All right. So the Big Red Barn. This is where you keep some of the horses for your carriage rides. The history here is a one-liner, but it explains all of your gear. So it's the same red barn that had horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's it. Keywords here: delivery, milk, eggs, anything relative to a stable. So you guys are getting the point on this, right? Communication devices. What would be the first question somebody would ask a Ouija board if they were sitting in front of one?
Are you dead?
Are you?
That would work, but I'm looking for something simpler than that.
So are you?
Exactly. Is anybody here?
Well,
That's usually the first question everybody wants because there is a yes/no on the Ouija board, right? So let's say we all stood around and I asked that question and Nathan heard the answer no. That means somebody's here. Guys, they answered. Is anybody here? And he hears no. We have a direct answer. Somebody's here. You guys got the point? We're not using yes/no questions all night long. We're going after the details. If somebody's here, tell me what color a Big Red Barn is. Now we know we are looking and listening for the color red. However, 3 of you are using song lyrics and DJs to be able to convey messages back to the rest of us. The word red might not be available to that song lyric or DJ. Fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 things are specifically red. I may take that as something being paranormal if something else was going on. Let me explain. Where's my word list? CJ has it. So let's say CJ has the word art on his word list. That doesn't mean anything over here by itself. Ellen, here's the number 40 coming out of hers. That doesn't mean anything separately. You put them together. Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You guys see where I'm going with this? Lots of puzzle piece collecting. And again, I know what 90% of these puzzles look like. I get excited when you guys tell me shit that you've heard that I have no idea what the hell it means. I write it down, and that means I get the research. I'm a writer, which, by the way, that's how I remember all of your names, because you're all characters to me right now, believe it or not. That's how I do this every single night. And then when I get back to the office, I try to forget faces until I have to see you again. And what was funny is I do watch a small portion of like your videos from your original tour, because again, your phone number is saved with your date of your tour. So I'm able to go back to that set of data, and you guys used the thermal imaging camera that night. So I was kind of like, okay, I can't see faces, but I hear voices. Now I kind of had a trigger. But anyway, sorry.
Probably a medical condition.
It's really bad, actually. So I guess imagine, like during my peak season, I will see 60 to 70 people a week. So again, and I try to memorize their names every single night. So again, Lisa's like, holy crap, I'm not doing that ever. So let's talk about these cameras. We will be in spaces where there's parked cars and people walking by. We try not to film people. We try not to film cars, especially with yours, because if I was a car thief, all I need is a crowbar, because I know exactly how long that SUV's been there based on the e-signature of the motor. So kind of keep that in perspective. You will try to keep one of us in view, because I make the joke at the beginning about being the hottest thing in there, because we're literally the warmest thing out here. It's nice. It's easier to find a cold spot if we have a warm reference, if that makes sense. All 3 cameras, try to move as slow as possible. I got to know the joke, CJ. What do you got?
Well, it was ass, and now it's fuzzy. So,
Fuzzy ass?
Well, it's ass fuzzy, so whichever way you want to go.
I got an ooh.
This is a live group for sure, everybody. So with all 3 cameras, I do watch them in double time, basically in fast forward. So try to move as slow as possible when you are recording. It's much easier for me to find the anomaly. Much easier for me to find anything that's in those cameras if I'm watching them in fast forward. Not to mention, it kind of helps me not listen to the audio of all the shit you guys are talking about me later on. I'm still laughing about that. He's like, I got a few words for you. So we're going to talk more about EMF as we start getting any readings. Have you had anything above a 2.5 since we've been over here?
I had a 3 point something.
Okay.
For like a second.
Yeah, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Ghosts don't stand still, buddy. So I'll write down a 3.0 for anything. The fuzzy ass is just funny. You haven't been unmuted yet. And the O after it, yes, absolutely. I love it. Oh, by the way, feel free to intermingle your devices among who you came with. So again, a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I got to use more devices. You can interchange. Well, that's why I usually pair up like a camera with a spirit box and that kind of thing. That's kind of how I like to do things. But again, with the 5 of you, feel free to change up your devices as much as you guys want to. Any other major questions about the gear that you're using? I think I've about covered everything except for EMF, but we're going to talk about that once we actually get some decent readings. All right, you're all hired. Let's go learn some real history. We're going this way. Cool. Well, you're hired. So, by the way, all 3 cameras, when we enter a space like this, hit those start buttons, keep them running for the entire duration that we're in this space, because if you hit the record button by the time you think you saw something, that something is already gone. So again, we want to try to get as much footage from each location as we can, so by all means, hit that record button, and let's get this puppy started. By the way, spirit boxes, Nathan, have you been listening at all? I know you
1 year,
got it. So if you've heard anything else you said to you,
Yeah, I've been hearing different things.
anything stand out?
Just a second ago, I did another one. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you'll be able to unmute once we actually get through the history here, and we'll start to spread out. By the way, everybody, congrats, you made it to our parking lot. So again, I told you I'd take you to weird spots. This place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space where that car is parked with its lights on, and facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant, came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, I need somebody else to give me a secondary clue so I know how to address that specific Charles. Does that make sense now? I hope it does. So I'm going to keep going. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on and talk about Eliza instead. If I do not give those gentlemen that recognition of signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a very negative manner through a spirit box, and I try not to piss them off. I hope you guys see my point. Now, the other reason, by the way, that I'm also remember most of your names is every night I come through this location before I meet with you guys to let her know who's coming if I know what the names are. It's just out of respect. I actually gave this space a little bit of a break because I was getting very disrespectful ghost hunters, like, come on, Eliza, let's go, talk to us, and then they go take a leak in the corner. So it was like, again, very nasty messages were coming through, so I kind of gave it a break. So again, I do repeat off your names to Miss Eliza before I meet with you. Back to Eliza. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. Which, by the way, communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose so you have a genuine experience. I will not give you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn over there. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Moving on. By the way, the husband, the reason why I said all of that about her young age at this time period is because the husband was over double her age. So it was creepy then, it's creepy now. So I'm just going to point that out too. So moving on. She married him because her father is over in England. He thinks he's dying, and he's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You do not get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. So, she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, believe it or not. There's nothing horrific about this location, hence why it is a place of respect. Moving forward, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's, some of you are wearing it right now, by the way. That's how we use it today. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated because obviously it's not warm here all the time. She learned how to make the dye, then moved it to a cash crop and got a hold of Dad and told him rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. It's something absolutely unheard of. That is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit because that's why you guys are all here. So, I'm going to basically go through and give all of the communication devices a set of focus questions. You can either say these things out loud or you could just focus on them. There's no right or wrong way to do this. She already knows what we're about to ask. Also, keep in mind that we do have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder, and 5 communication devices. So, if you're asking a question, she might get the answer. We never know where it's going to fall. So, they can attest, I always have a minimum of 2 communication devices, even if it's just 2 people on the group. Again, we like to know where it's going to go. So, 2 red spirit boxes. So Helen and Nathan, the two of you are going to have the same set of questions because of the type of spirit box you're using. You're going to focus on Eliza's death. So 4 major things we get answers to: her age at death, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. Obviously not yes/no questions. If you go rogue, just be respectful. Make sure it's not a yes/no question. With yours. Oh my, run. I almost lost it for a second. So your particular spirit box only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. The mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it and I can. You're going to ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. Moving on. So, Sandy and CJ, that actually works out perfect. So the 2 of you, I guess I didn't realize I did that. Your devices are going to be working together as well. So, I don't know if you remember or not, Sandy, but Stacey. Oh my God. The one person I screwed up is somebody I already knew. Stacey.
Eliza on Stacey.
So with yours, Eliza's initials, ELP.
Okay.
You're going to be looking for that in a very specific order of ELP,
Okay.
because the L stands for a maiden name, because the first wife, also named Eliza, had a maiden name that started with the letter L.
Okay.
Hopefully, that's what you're going to come up with, CJ. So that's what's hopefully going to show up on yours. You also are like the kind of the catch-all. What everybody else is asking, some of the answers often go to you. So again, I just wanted you to have something specific that you guys can work on together. But I am going to keep Stacey behind with me for just a few minutes so I can show her some of the inners of like how to work that guy. Do you have any other numbers on yours, Mark?
It's all over the place. I'm getting 80.1, 65.7. It's jumping everywhere.
Wow.
Okay.
That's high.
I was getting 35 to 12, 3,
What was the highest number you saw?
it was 85.1, 2,
Yeah.
25, 15.1.
Was that recording?
So I'm looking for, this is picking up black light, pretty much infrared, an orb or something, something that we can't see.
It's in the cold.
I don't know why.
When we got there, it started jumping everywhere.
There's no electricity.
Right.
Because it's constant. So if you send it here, you have a constant, it wouldn't drop, because then the power would be out around here.
Yeah.
Plus, if you look, you definitely mentioned that to him.
All right.
Suffer.
Suffer. So I'll be writing that one down.
I said, let's have a good time.
Is that what you just heard?
Did earlier.
Suffer. All right, so everybody, let's spread out. Stay away from the vehicles. Don't go in between them. Don't go in front or back of them. And I'm going to do a couple of round robins, and then I'll regroup us to give you guys all the answers to see what we actually got. So, Stacey, not Sandy. Let's see what we got. All right. But anytime you see mag, it means it came from a magnetic field. It says tap,
be a bigger
it
screen,
from this
I would
dot.
think.
You gotta, like,
Yeah, that'd be nice, but we'll be able to blow this one up, this
Yeah.
recording.
Right? So in the event that you don't see anything in there, it starts to move away from letters. What positive? You're gonna turn it off from here, but then counterclockwise, go back to one. And then you have a nice pressure. Obviously the initials here are and the word gets spelled out here. So kind of like
Got any more? Hair. Not only mine. Normal.
Much more fun. Just a bunch of
yeah, I try to stick to letters. If you want to jump to numbers, just to try to get a direct whatever, and you get it, then just let me know if you do that.
Does the number 36 mean anything?
Not to me off the top of my head, but that could also mean like March 6th. I look at everything in relative to dates and years as well. So I'm going to write down 36 and see if I can.
And I'm getting a lot of references to God, but I don't know if that's just the
You're in the holy city.
exactly.
Anything above a 50?
I got 172, 126, 105, okay. 200.
I think it's fair to say, if you start saying any triple digits, let me know.
All right.
I need to know, like, it's very high.
It did for like a little, like a couple seconds, and then it went back down to.
Yeah, it can get dangerous for me. So,
Yeah.
So just definitely let me know. And if it errors out, like you get 3 lines across the middle of the screen, you probably got to wrap it. That means it went over 200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then hair seller.
Hair seller?
Hair with one word and then seller in basement. So those 5 in a
seller.
row.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been a seller at this location.
And then first gibberish word.
It's heaven backwards.
It is heaven backwards.
That's cool.
Huh.
And it's actually a name these days. Nevaeh. That's how you would pronounce it.
Ah,
See that a lot in the African American movement.
Huh.
that's interesting.
Sorry, wordsmith. That's what I do. So did you drag everybody else along this time? I love it.
Yeah, well, my friend Helen and I have, so she said, yeah,
Very cool.
we already know the ghost.
And we're going to do one more with our other son and daughter.
Yeah,
I think.
in like a month or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be back.
Okay. Well, just text me directly at this point. There's no reason you guys need to pay full price if you're just going to keep returning every other month.
Okay, cool. I will.
Is there a medium in here? Medium?
I don't know. I don't think so. Nobody's
Ryan, are you getting anything?
No,
What
not
exactly
really.
are you looking for?
I think just orbs, but I think mine will mostly be like afterwards. Unless I'm
Yeah,
staring at this
yeah.
the entire
Right,
time
exactly.
and seeing stuff, I'm not
Yeah.
going to see a whole lot.
Okay, cool. Nosy.
Nosy. Interesting.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you should have shown that. Oh, more.
And
Okay.
I'm going to say that if you see a stick man on a tree, 9 times out of 10, I think the bunches with a tree or a bush in the background. So that's why we should say it that way. But it's just got the shadow will also pick up.
I got 919 clear as day.
From the camera's point of view,
Is this?
I think so.
What is it?
919 area code. It's not California. I think that's Cali.
Oh,
Like
maybe.
clear as day in Orange.
That's September 19th.
I want to ask, I forget how this is generating noise.
EMF. So it's an EMF like theirs do.
Yeah.
And it, I think, turns into like binary code and uses that code to pick a word on this.
Oh, they're trying to the 9,000.
Yeah. Yep. Oh no, I think this one actually said he said it was going through the radio station, so any word it picks up on the radio stations. I think that's mom. I think he's supposed to do that. Yeah, she's getting a lot. She got nosy.
Nothing, because I had to keep turning it off.
Yeah.
It started overwriting what I was trying to show him, but it started overwriting.
Isn't that like
the
a
word.
somewhat of a close area code?
919?
Isn't 919 an area code in your guys' area?
919 would be in Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville.
Okay. So, probably why you heard the 919. Where did she go? Oh, she's off one.
Yeah.
Love it. Anything crazy on your cam, Phil?
Yeah.
Nothing? Have we heard anything on the spirit box?
Good one.
What's that?
Good one.
Good one? Good one? Nosy? Good one? Good
What
one?
did she
Crazy? Anything else
good
above
one.
50? Or, I'm sorry, over 100?
No.
Okay.
No. It's all low now.
It's tough to land. So here's
How's that camera working out for you? I know it can be hard to see.
Yeah, but I can see pretty well.
Yeah, so basically you're a videographer for us for the entire night.
Cool.
So I figured you had the opportunity to really get into with this spirit. Did you have the camera or the spirit box last time?
Last time I had Spirit Box.
Spirit box. So
Yeah.
that's usually the more intense one.
Yep.
But with this one, I figured you guys are going to intermingle things, and this way you can kind of help out with some of the other devices because you've seen at least 4 or 5 of these devices already. So it's kind of I figured how that's going to work out.
Perfect.
So let's do one more quick round robin. I'm going to let Helen listen in.
What?
So
doing
she's doing a great job right there.
I know.
Yeah,
Like,
stage for this year.
just buried on.
Well, you can maybe have a bite of the Twix. Cheers.
Loads of cues keep popping up.
That's
too.
weird.
So every time it gets to the end,
So that was the beginning, obviously.
Haven't had any triple digits.
Secret grandchild's interesting.
Highest was
Valid,
out.
valid,
Yeah, valid. I don't know what that is.
I mean, since the triple digit.
Is that a triple digit?
I
one?
watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's weird. And
Yeah.
proud,
Hair.
too, you know.
You know,
Here in this
proud.
parking lot?
Yeah, it was right
There.
So you have to remember, like back in those
Oh,
times, a lot of
really?
plantation
Yeah.
owners would have children by their slaves.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I mean, a secret
Finding
grandchild.
Yep.
I know.
So there was a story, I want to say, to Eliza,
Wow.
probably would have been a great-great-grandchild
Once it's out.
of a Thomas Pinckney. It wasn't her son directly, but I want to say it was obviously a descendant from Eliza that he actually had what they would call a mulatto son.
Right.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's very
And the
interesting.
hair would be different.
Oh, I'm sure
Or
it would.
could be
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Well, more than likely different, based on genetics, of course. Anything else crazy going on with anybody else?
Oh, tearing apart.
Well, full phrase. Tearing apart the family. I'm sure it would have.
Yeah,
You
that's
get anything?
interesting.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Rhonda, you got anything else crazy going on over there?
I can't tell what some of it is.
Okay. And have you two heard anything on your spirit box yet? Nothing else extra? All right, I say it's time to like wrap this one up a little bit, only
Okay.
because of some of the terms that we have. I'll explain. So let's move right back to
That's
where we are.
weird.
I'll go home. I got you. Stop right about here.
Alleyway's cool.
Isn't it nice?
Yes, this is gorgeous.
It smells so
Last
good.
time
What
we were
does it
here in
smell?
Howell, my
Honeysuckle.
birthday.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's along the fence line right here. All right, Rhonda, let's get you on mute. Did you hear anything?
Weird.
Weird.
Happy girls.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, that's what I told him. The ghosts don't like them either.
Anything
And
else?
then I thought I heard something else, but I can't remember now what it said.
Okay, it'll come to you.
something about grandma.
Grandma?
Oh, hurt. That's
Grandma
what I
and
heard.
secret
Hurt.
grandchild.
Okay. Kind of makes sense here. It's still vague, but it still works here. Ellen?
80s?
Yes. That makes sense. We're going to let this group pass through, guys. Mark, where are you at? I can't see in the dark. Perfect. So, Mark, you're going to be looking for an 8 or above in here. That's your new baseline. Just because the lampposts, we'll give off up to a 7. So you guys get the point on that one. So cameras, obviously you want to try to get a long view, just the same way that Ryan is doing it. So he's got a nice long view, nice empty alley, so if you can get a long view. If the other groups will come through us, because again, this is a very popular area for Charleston, we'll just split the seas like what we just did. Just lower your cameras. You guys got the point. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. What words did we get while we were chatting, by the way?
We got manipulate, apology, and alien.
All right, which one of these an alien?
Aliens are taken in a lot of ways.
Where's the lizard?
Where's the lizard man, right?
I just got bad omens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bad omens, aliens. We're gonna get this young lady passed through.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're fine. All right. All right. So welcome to Philadelphia Alley. By the way, I'm sorry. Did you get any words out of there?
No, nothing.
Okay. This is Philadelphia Alley, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because dueling was illegal, so they had to find hiding spots. What's funny is one of the phrases we heard last night on the way here was "same hiding spot." So they didn't know. They heard it along the way. That's why I have you guys listen along the way. But anyway, every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple for everybody. I'm going to give you the same story that they give, but I'm going to give you more details because you guys aren't on the cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour, right? You're ghost hunting. You need those extra details. So let's kind of get into this. And by the way, there's a lot that goes into this. Again, we're going to stir things up and we're going to leave, and this guy's going to follow us for probably the rest of the night. He's going to go over to the next location because that's where we get most of his communication, but he also shows up at our last stop, and the reason why is because he used to live nearby that location. Again, raised emotion. You have to look at the clues of when things pop up. So if you guys are starting to give me clues of him at that last stop, I'll definitely let you know if I feel like he's there. All right, so here's how it goes. The gentleman moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the two of you with the red spirit boxes are going to listen in along the way here, while we're in here, and you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it here all the time. You're going to be looking for the initials of R.I., Rhode Island. So just kind of keep that in mind. It'll make more sense once I get into it. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just inherited, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to prove that he's not just after her money. So, we're going to have groups coming in at all angles tonight, just so you guys know. So on his way into town, the coachman that he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston, but somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. That somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. R.I. Get the point?
Oh, yeah.
Ralph has the same initials as to where the doctor actually came from. That's exactly why I have the device that Stacey is using tonight. I bought it because I was getting the letters R.I. on other spirit boxes. We're going to let both of these parties pass through, and they're actually not going to. What was it? Watson? No, not to my knowledge, but we are near a cemetery, so who knows what's creeping over. That's the problem with this location. So anyway, back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. Now, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. They'll rent you a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer, and now the two gentlemen are friends. So the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money because he's making his own. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down soon, so they could be married. So Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor.
So there's a lot of families.
Definitely had a cigar, didn't he? So, the Whistling Doctor. This is part of the reason why I hate this story and why it was actually going to take it out of my route this year. So, whistling ghosts are a cliche. Every haunted city you guys are ever going to visit, we all have haunted, or like whistling ghosts. So, again, ours just happens to be a doctor. Moving on. Let's talk about the duel and how that actually started. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they are arguing over the new actress they just saw that was here in town. Doc thought she was great, but Ralph didn't think so. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. So it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, I already told you that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. Let's settle this. Somebody's going to die. They came down. Let these young ladies pass through real quick. Hello.
Hello.
So they came down, back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. The doctor points his gun in the air and shoots his one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. Now, Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, but he fell to the ground, and Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off. Doc's friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786 after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out 3 things. I normally point out 2 things. First off, we heard the phrase 80s coming out of Helen's spirit box. He died in 1786, so technically it's correct. It is also 1786, and gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Why did he refuse medical treatment? He's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, because obviously he died. And every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests, listen for the whistles and see what you can capture. We have 3 cameras running right now, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's going to show up on one of those 4 devices. However, the 2 other spirit boxes with the headphones, we've gotten whistling parts of songs and then the word doctor immediately after, dozens and dozens of times. So I can't say that that is not a thing. I don't look for it. It happens all the time. So just kind of keep that in perspective. If you're going to try this on your own and you're going to walk all the way through here without me, obviously once we're not together, and you are going to listen for the whistles from a voice recording on your phone, just remember every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley every time we pass it. So I do that since I've been thrown out of here. Let's talk about that, because that's the fun part of the story. No. It also explains why we're going to the next location that we are going to. So this alley did not always go all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. This was before Jeweler's Alley. It was called Cow Alley. We often get the word cow on CJ's word list, just so you guys know it happens all the time. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Because at the end of this alley, those bricks are older than the ones we are standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through. History lesson, nothing paranormal about it. Last place you're going to find that kid that made that handprint inside that brick down there. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there for their history lesson, and I normally just kind of point it out and we move on. They stop, and they're waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed out. I'm trying to shoo them along. Guys, we got to keep going. We're standing right outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours at that time of night. I was still new at this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out, and he was furious, and my daughter thought it was hysterical because her father's getting yelled at. She was on the tour that night. So, yeah, you're looking at me horrified. She thought it was hysterical. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart for over 10 years. You guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving and have scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. So, the next day I called my partner. It's the 28th of November. It's the guy that brought me into tourism away from retail, and I told him what happened, like looking for advice, and he's laughing just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to reroute your group. Well, guess what? I'm sold out again. It's Black Friday. I told my group we got to reroute, and I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. That's obviously we're talking about pirates next, in case you haven't picked up on that. And I've never had anything happen with my gear over there. I've been there dozens of times. We'll see what happens. So before we left, somebody with a spirit box, here's the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we are going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. I take them up around the corner, I tell them a little bit I didn't know about piracy, and somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that one means. I wrote it down just so I can research it. Turns out we were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary there.
Wow.
Now, this is the reaction I normally get. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I already told you, first off, I was not in the pirates at the time. I am very much so now. Because I have done more research on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing anything as far as writing or researching, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. So that's a problem. That means I have to read more books to verify what you guys are finding. I read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my life. I'm rewatching Black Sails. If you're not familiar with that fantastic show,
that was a good show.
it's a fantastic show. So my wife is not watching it too. But anyway, so I've done more research on this than you guys can possibly imagine. It is a fun story, but it is a roll of the dice if Anne Bonny will actually be at the next location. I'll explain once we get there, but we will get things from Dr. Ladd over there as well. So that's kind of the hope and figure. Now, when we get across, we're going to cut through that group. So you will kind of, like, you can be unmuted until we reach the group, mute, and then unmute again as we're walking to the next location, just so we're not interrupting that particular tour. Everybody else is definitely going to listen in. Any numbers I need to know about, Mark?
No, nothing.
CJ, any words I need to know about from you?
I don't think so. Hurt? Argument?
You heard hurt earlier. Somebody heard hurt.
Hurt. I did. Hurt.
Okay, thank you.
Hurt. An argument.
Argument?
Yeah.
I'll take that one for sure.
Passion.
Passionate argument.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't usually take adjectives, but
Right.
that argument is definitely not
Tainted
a...
love
Oh,
came on while
sultry.
you were
When you-
talking.
When you first got here, sultry came up.
Oh, I like that one too. Let's see. I think I got about everybody covered. Stacey?
I got a few words. I got team, T-E-A-M,
Nice.
fit, new, cry, the name Luke, L-U-K-E, and then I could be wrong about this, but I got O-R-O when you're talking about the pirate, and I think that's like the Spanish or Latin word for gold, but I could be wrong. Couldn't remember.
Anybody know that off the top of their head?
Or Spanish, maybe?
What's the Spanish word for gold?
Oro. That's correct. It is.
That was weird. That was right when you were talking about Anne Bonny.
Interesting. Okay, so Luke, team, fit. Was it new?
New.
Okay.
Yep. And then the name Luke, yep. New, cry, team, cry,
Cry, I missed that
C-R-Y.
one.
And then fit and
Wow,
Oro.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it. Cool. See if anything ties together. All right, we ready to learn about rated R pirates?
Yes.
Yep.
Nobody got my dad joke? That means I got to take it a step further. You know that, right? So if the letter R is not a pirate's favorite letter, what is it? It must be the C.
Oh, good grief. We should have saw that.
They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Again, just like to give you her mentality as we kind of move forward. So fast forward, the building is done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love with one of these dudes so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. So it's a man's world. The first guy she falls in love with. I say first because there's a lot. We're going to talk about all of them. That's kind of what makes the damn story. The first guy is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going, right? So Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica and got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from. When they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep tally. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. For those of you that watch Black Sails, that is the guy with the really thin, skinny mustache. He owns the brothel, if that makes sense. Yeah, you guys got that point now. I said brothel, and all the guys were like, yep, remember that one. But anyway, so Calico Jack has his own ship, and he has his own crew. So Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know the real reason why?
I just heard it was unlucky.
It's bad luck.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for keeping it family friendly. I get some really raunchy answers to that one. By the way, Calico Jack is the real person that they based your Johnny Depp character off of. So just kind of keep that in the back of your brain.
Cool.
Now, it is bad luck, so he makes a deal with Anne. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. So she agrees. But we're all adults here, put 2 and 2 together. She is a female in his quarters. She is eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant dude on the crew. Like somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and then they'll get rid of Jack as captain. They'll vote him off. So before she starts to show her pregnancy, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here with these friends of mine. They'll help you out and come back later. We'll figure it out then. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. None of my research has ever found it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. Now he's going to know he's a girl on the ship. To make him even more angry, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. Did everybody get all that? Because that one's a long one. So now we have 2 females dressed like male pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, Anne and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure because of obviously the time frame. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of Navy ships to come take down one measly little pirate ship. Rumor is Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. They don't know how to use cannon jets. They haven't been pirates for very long. Now, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns obviously can't take on a whole fleet of Navy ships with cannons. They're going to get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain in bow, Jack, and says, "Sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up a lot for us here in our communication devices. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. So he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out to the judge, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He brings Anne home after he bails her out, and she remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we're not really sure. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know anything truthful about her after her pirate career. It's all for speculative fiction. You take
We
it
know little about her.
Exactly. Oh, we do. You got the word little. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books tell you it was fever. I say let's make it romantic. Call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. We're not talking about a very prominent English woman kind of mentality. We're talking about a kick-ass female pirate. I say normally if you smoke tobacco and you brought a bottle of rum, have a good time. You'll probably attract her over to you. Help me. Of course, all the crazy. It is going to try to scare you every once in a while. It said help me. Yeah, you guys see me roll my eyes like real fast on that one. So here's the things I left out of the story just so you guys have a few things to work off of. You can ask whatever the hell you want to here, but I did leave out the names of the parents. That's the father and the mistress. I will tell you that both names of the parents showed up on Stacey's device last night. So can't make this stuff up. It happens. Yeah. So we did get both names there. What else did I forget? Oh, the name of the city that Anne grew up in, Ireland. So again, very specific city that she grew up in. The name of the Calico Jack ship that she joined, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to. So that's kind of how the mentality of this. So Lisa, with yours, this wall behind me is not your friend because it's covered in leaves. It's going to look like a whole bunch of army men just lined up ready to shoot. So kind of keep that in mind. I know, right?
There's a ton of them.
I am actually happy if we get a 2.5 in here.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing, 0.
So we actually got a little bit of, I think we had like a 3.2 or something here last night, so I was actually pretty excited about that. We are going to get you unmuted. Let's just stay away from the vehicles. Remember, the building is what's going to be familiar to Anne, but the closer you get up that way, you got parking meters and 2 electrical poles that are going to influence.
Stuff, right.
You got it. Oh, we're switching it up. I love it. All right, so let's get those cameras running if you haven't already, and let's get to work. You guys know what the hell you're doing.
Did you get the name Deborah? Is there a Deborah anywhere?
I gotten that here before. It's been a while. I just don't know who it is. Again, could be bleed over. There's a cemetery right behind us, or right behind me. So could be bleed over from them. Who knows? Again, me going through records without a last name.
Baby.
No. We don't need to get into all that. We're gonna see if something else pops up with it. That's a whole other ball game. Wow. It's a lot different this time around for you. You're actually getting to hear things.
Yeah, I did want to tell you though, I was listening through ours like a month ago, and then a whole bunch happened. I haven't listened through it all because I just moved out here for the job and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you said you thought you heard a whistle over there that we didn't hear, if you listen, you can definitely hear a very distinct, quiet whistle.
Okay. Yours was that night. Okay.
Yep.
I was trying to remember. I was actually supposed to go back because I got kind of lost in the show. Because remember, I don't listen to the audio of the cameras. So it eluded me as I was working on it, and then on my drive home, I was like, ah, shit, I forgot about the whistle. I never got.
I've backed it up and listened probably 30 times. It is definitely just a sharp single tone whistle.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll go back and look at it now that I remember the date.
Cool.
2/26, because you guys actually, my birthday was 2 days later.
Oh, okay.
So it was easier. Like, oh, they were there right before my birthday. So
cool.
I was probably in a good mood that night.
Yeah. Now feel free to.
Pick out your tats, by the way. Like, what's with the compass? Is that anything? There's subject on here.
Telling me to go.
That's what happened with me. You should show him that.
I will.
Yeah, because last time,
Mm-hmm.
same thing happened.
So what's the
Try to just get kind of a wide angle. Actually.
What's the person standing there?
Getting anything?
0.1.
Oh, okay. Anything?
I heard the word pad, but I don't think
What?
that's it. I think pad is not anything. Yeah, backwards.
This is
You
fun.
getting anything? Or
I'm not really watching, because I'm just going to let it record, and then we'll go through it later. Just because I don't want to just kind of be staring through a tiny little camera.
right, I don't blame you. But it would be cool if there was something around. Something that would look like it moves, I guess, right?
Try to show you because I can get a fake one. So look right here, see the bottom right? Watch, see like that little orb?
Oh, yeah.
Something
So
like
it'd be
that.
something like that.
But that's reflection from the light.
Right.
And what happened to your baby? What?
I've been told to go and to retreat.
Wow.
You gotta tell him.
Yeah,
and
that's
what they-
interesting.
That's
That's what
exactly what happened last time.
Yep, last time. Wow.
I'm gonna go one more time. It's always
All the action.
Really?
And I had nothing.
Really?
You get the gist of that? So I can take it.
So, Dad, this is the parking lot last time. Did Mom tell you?
no.
Where he said if he wants to go, go. And that was when I was listening, and I apparently immediately after said, get out of here.
Yeah.
It was this parking lot.
I always I come over and touch this water spot.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's loose. I look behind here.
What?
I got a name.
Really?
You did? What is it?
Alexandra.
That's That's weird. This is fun, isn't it, CJ?
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of fun.
The first one came
So I'll explain before we leave the space. So yeah, keep listening. Oh no, it goes. Choose another corner. I'll be here like another 2 to 4 minutes before I wrap this one up. There's not a whole lot's going on and everybody's screaming out at me yet.
You know what? You can see there was another house.
Up against it,
And then
yeah.
along.
You should tell him no, but
Okay, she's not getting like much of anything out of it. It's the one that gives us little
They're all negative words.
AMF
are they?
one.
What was the next one?
She's not getting much at all.
Fight?
Switch corners for a minute or
You
two.
should come back.
See if you can get anything. I see you
Okay.
You're kind of up, like looking for better reception. Are you
Yeah.
having a hard time just tuning in?
Yeah, like, yeah.
I already told him that if something attaches to me, I'm going to be pissed. He says he's got stuff in the backpack that should prevent that from happening.
Oh, really interesting.
Yeah.
Was he being serious?
I think so.
Wow.
But it's
Wonder
every
if
time
he carries
every
like
time
holy
I come
water or
here,
something.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything?
Same fight, but it's like it's green almost turning to red.
Nothing. Nobody's getting much of anything here.
Yeah, it is.
You should probably tell them.
Momentum.
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 Well, the go, the
Getting pissed,
retreat.
What's that? Hold on a second.
Go, retreat, fight, and then name are interesting.
Yeah, I know. I wanna see if
Especially
the
just
name
because I
means
got
anything.
told to leave last time I was here.
Yeah.
Like, that was the
Yeah.
big thing. Is that he said, we're
So
going to go.
is it the Kubalics?
I don't know.
Like either one of you.
Maybe it's just because I'm back.
I don't know.
It is both
It
times.
could be that you've just got a bad attitude.
Well, I have asked pretty pushing questions here both times.
Oh, are you like? Do you say it out loud?
So
Yeah.
it's a matter of don't
I haven't
look
thought
for
of that.
anything.
Okay.
Just wait for it to happen.
Gotcha.
And what do we got going on with your word list?
So I got go, I
Okay.
got retreat, I got fight, momentum, and then the name Alexandria.
Oh, that's actually not a
Or
name.
Alexandria.
It is the name of a city.
Yeah.
That is where Dr. Ladd is buried.
It's what?
It's where Dr. Ladd is buried.
Alexandria,
Virginia.
Virginia.
Correct.
Wow.
Do you have VA on your word list or on your Ouija board over there? Because if so, then you have the full city and the state.
Not so far.
Okay.
Not that I noticed.
Yeah, you
Would
were
we
looking
count
for
just
it.
the V and A in a row, even in the line of letters? Or
Nah,
would
I
it
would
just
want them
be its
together,
own?
just
Okay.
because it's only two.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's interesting.
We've gotten that here before, obviously. We've heard it before. Like Alexandria, Virginia.
Street.
Oh, wow, cool.
Oh, on this one we got wow. Oh,
What's it say upside down?
Oh, mom. And then soap, multiple. I missed a couple.
It's okay.
Yeah, look at that. Drug, little, intimate.
You heard
And
little as
lots.
well, didn't you?
Yes.
Cannot, planning, fight, momentum.
So
funny,
Alexandria.
some of that fight stuff.
Yeah.
We are near a gunpowder magazine. It's sort
Yeah.
7
And I
wars.
did it every time I go there.
So,
Come back. It seems.
did you get anything? Is that what you guys came back?
I'm telling you, red.
Oh, I got heart when I was over there.
You got heart
Heart.
and you got red.
Looks like over.
His word list is actually pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
Sometimes that thing sucks. Like, it's boring. On the face of that, you have a little.
That's a pretty weird coincidence, get Alexandria.
I know.
Oh.
Coming.
Anything more?
Nope, still on momentum.
Hey, Virginia Tech.
Oh, that is weird.
The wife says no tools on the I still have my phone, and I test a lot of apps. I know it works, I know it doesn't. So
I can tell she doesn't get mad at you very often.
she understands. You have to understand. Let me kind of put things in perspective. First off,
She knew you first.
my wife is handicapped, so she wears braces to walk. So we always make the joke that she's never leaving me because she can't run that fast. So the second thing is that she's going to dogs or ghosts. That is what the dinner conversation is. It's never a combination, unless of course she had a euthanasia that day at the vet office. So because she does work at a vet office and going to school to become a vet. So it is always dogs and ghosts with us. But again, it's always a conversation of like what's happening with the equipment, and then if it's her first set of degrees are in photography and graphic design, which is she does all my book covers. I think I mentioned to somebody that I'm waiting on her to finish my damn cover already, for this latest book. But she's so busy with her DVM stuff and getting that stuff wrapped up that she's very busy. But as far as the wife goes, there are vacations where she says no gear. Let's just go have a few nice dinners. Let's go take a few, tours, like ghost tours. And she's like, no, ghost tours. So it just depends. I don't like the other tours that they're walking in and say, what the hell is Nick up to now? So we're just going to kind of hide what's going on here. So the two of you obviously are going to be blindfolded. You're not going to be able to hear me. You're going to be telling me everything you're hearing in real time. Now your family members, in the event you're talking too loud, because we do have neighbors and I try not to anger anybody, they're going to tap you on the shoulder, quiet down a little bit. If we can't hear you, they may lift up your earmuff and just say the word louder. Speak up a little bit. When we're done, because I'm only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes, they're going to tap you on the leg, take off your own gear. I will never touch you. You will be able to hear me. So again, that's why I'm not giving you these specific directions. So did you guys figure out your blindfolds?
Oh yeah.
Are they Batman masks or are they full around your head?
Oh, we're going to go rob banks.
They should rip in the center, so that way it's a Batman mask. Okay, or you can do it that way, whatever makes you comfortable. Alright, so with your images, have you ever done virtual reality before?
No. Well, I mean a little bit. They've got a game.
Okay, exactly. So this is not going to be Jurassic Park coming down to eat you kind of stuff. Okay, so you're going to see a galaxy off in the distance, and then every once in a while a picture will show up in front of the galaxy. It's going to be like moving stars. I put that in there so you won't fall asleep.
Okay.
So whatever the picture is, just keep it nice and brief. So if it's 3 people on a bench with a tree, 3 people bench tree. If they're not saying much, I may ask you probing questions. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Like what are the people wearing? What's the time period look like? That kind of thing. So that way, and everybody will be able to see all of these images once we're done with the experiment. When we're done, obviously you guys get to tap on the leg. I'll say peel that thing off your face. Nobody get up. I don't like baby giraffes to fall on the ground after you've been in the dark for 10 minutes. Let's see. So as soon as you guys are ready, I will start the timer. So go ahead and blindfolds down, spirit boxes up, and try not to mess with your volume. I'll test constantly to make sure you're not cheating. I've had people try to cheat, believe it or not. And I will get you your thing once I get it set up for you, since you haven't done this before. Okay. Helen, can you hear me? Nathan, you need to have both foot ears covered. There you go. I know it sucks. What color is a blue banana? Perfect. Henry Timrod. I've got some folks here that want to talk to you, so if you could please push forward and give us something about your occupation, please, to let us know that you're here. All you're gonna do is look straight ahead, and it'll line up with you. You won't need to move around or anything. And then your focus, in case it's blurry in there, is right here. So just turn that in case it's blurry. It'll move.
Other guy.
Okay, perfect. What other guy is here? Did you bring Dr. Ladd with you too? Henry? Henry, this is Helen, Nathan, and Rhonda. Rhonda can see whatever you want us to see. These other 2 folks can hear whatever you want us to hear.
There's an old face.
Okay. What time period? Can you guess?
I can't really tell because it's basically just a head. image.
Okay.
The face almost looks mad.
He's not always happy I'm here, just so you guys know. He doesn't like me poking around like this all the time. Henry, did you bring somebody else here with you?
It literally just about smiled.
It's always going to look like it's moving a little bit. We'll see what it actually ended up with. Stacey, can you do me a favor and remind him that he's supposed to tell us what he's hearing? You know, if I lift up his earmuffs and just say, hey, can you tell us what you got? So we've been under, we'll just say about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes at this point. Henry, thanks for the image. I'm not sure what's going on in there until I take a look at it. But we need to verify that you're here. Tell us about your occupation. What'd you do for a living?
Great track record.
Right. Henry, do you need me to show a little appreciation?
We're all leaving.
I still see the face. It's almost like he's
Trying to go home.
Usually the word home for Henry means he wants us to leave. We're not leaving, Henry. That face hasn't left yet?
no.
That's weird that it's staying up there for that long period.
Being lonely, friends.
And we did get the word careful on CJ's device, just so you guys know.
Okay, now it looks like somebody's doing this. Like this.
Wow. You haven't seen the galaxy yet at all?
I mean, I see the galaxy, but this is just kind of what it looks like it's popping up now.
077.
7-7 is actually relevant. It's Dr. Ladd's birthday. You guys remember I told you Dr. Ladd may show up at our last location? At first he said the other guy. Now he says 077.
Let's try a little bit harder.
What did she just say?
I do, I think.
It looks like there's a bunch of people.
Love her descriptions. It's out here.
Can't help it.
Henry, who else came here with you today? If you're not Henry Tim,
Probably.
can you tell us your first name, please?
Oh, that one's a scary lady.
You're getting all kinds of things. What's a scary lady look like? You talking fangs and vampire stuff? Or
Really old
1887.
and wrinkly with white hair.
1887. That's weird.
Picks you up, lets you down.
Timrod died in 1869, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just faces.
Weird. Henry, we don't understand what these images are and why the box is reacting that way. Normally, you get an image and it'll dissipate. You'll see the galaxy for a minute or two, and you'll get another image, and it'll just pulse back and forth like that. It feels like you're getting a bunch of images one after another. That's weird. Henry, back to you, sir. Did Dr. Ladd come here with you? That's a yes/no question.
Then it looks like there's a building on fire.
I can't wait to see these images if she's getting that many. That's like 5 she's described already. You get an average of 4. Henry, what's going on with that box over there?
Tell me how you pay.
Henry, we need more things to verify that you're here. None of the images make sense to me.
There you go.
Tell me about what you did for work. What are you known for?
That looks like a cow, but it looks like a devil cow.
Devil cow.
I am not.
Are you sure she's not a bull with horns?
That's
Are
just
there any of your gods?
Or any of the gods? Is what he just said. That's weird.
now I'm on a street with buildings. It looks like, and they're on fire
Henry,
all around.
what's going on with the images, Henry? super silent. This is creeping me out a little bit. What's the word?
Supermarket present.
No, but you know where you're at? In Washington Park. That's George over there. We get things relevant to George, even just the first name, we do GW.
We also got unlike. Might have to be careful with
Henry, none of this makes sense, sir. Wow. Like, Helen's in a trance.
Yeah.
Listen.
qualified.
Henry Timrod, you need to tell us what you're known for. Henry, what's the sound out of the church we're getting right now? What are we getting? What's the sound? You can show us a picture of it. You can tell us through one of the folks listening to you, or we're using two other devices that you're familiar with too. The two boxes over here with the lights on them. Mark, any readings at all?
Nothing.
What was the sound that came out of the church? Still looking
Bad.
for verification that you're here.
Good candidate.
That's a presidential thing. She said Clinton earlier.
Yeah.
Henry, we're running out of time. We're down to about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You guys can
Best
see
pictures in the world.
best pictures in the world. Maybe that's what we're on to see it over there. Things on fire, goofy faces, and a scary cow.
Virtual.
Virtual. Henry?
Reparations.
Who are you?
You know damn well who I am. I'm here every night. I don't normally have to get nasty.
Waking up tomorrow.
I better be waking up tomorrow.
Right?
Another version.
Henry? If you'd like us to leave, can you give us the code word? Dr. Ladd, you can give us your code word just to let us know your presence. By the way, Dr. Ladd's code word is the word purple. So if the word purple comes out of here, it kind of gives me a verification that the doc is here.
People you like.
People you like.
Because of two countries.
The Bible.
Now they're here. Henry, we're going to wrap it up if you're not going to give us anything. You need to tell us what you did for a living. Just a little verification that you're here. We don't need to have a full-blown
Now you start pitching.
conversation like we've had in the past. Just a little verification. Show these folks you're here.
Fevers, chills.
You have that
Daughter.
when you were sick. Henry, last chance.
Sky above.
Give me the answer to what we've heard from the church or your occupation.
Find them.
Find them. Timrod going once. Going twice. Alright, family members, let's tap them out. Ronna, go ahead and peel it off your face. I am dying to see your scroll of pictures.
I mean,
you
it
have going
could be
on.
my imagination, but I swear it was more faces. Like, it's almost like they were just trying to.
I'm dying to see this. There is nothing there. There's an empty gallery. Everything you just saw did not save.
No way.
It's empty.
Wow.
Like normally I can go straight to this and they come right up. And I'm able to like scroll through them and show you guys what happened.
But then I messed it up somehow.
Wouldn't you? Again, you have to sometimes look at the oddity things that do occur as well. Now granted, we're working with electronics. Could something have occurred? Could have. Have I seen this before? I've seen where we were missing like one picture, but we've also seen it where we were added like 3 pictures that the viewer never even saw. So, could have been something? It's a possibility.
Anything all looks mad though.
Mad cows?
It did. No, just the one mad looking cow, but but the faces looked mad.
What the hell were you doing when I had blog posts up?
All kinds of images coming through.
Apparently everybody's passing around something I didn't get to take.
Yeah, right?
So
That
I would.
little bit of acid.
That's
you
how I'm
slipped
going.
me. You guys didn't see that?
$20
Yeah.
and a little drop of something. I would
He said,
call
"This
with
is
what
what
you
you're gonna
guys
see."
did was completely unsuccessful. Now, did we have a